And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Creature Comforts. As always, this is from Kids Table Board Games, and as always with these games, I'm excited because I know they're going to be beautiful, gorgeous, fun, family-friendly, cool games. And this is no exception to that. This is what we call a worker placement game, where you'll have these different workers in this animal village going out, placing them in spots with dice, using, and a bit of speculation. So how does all this work? Let me show you. In this game, you're trying to score the most points over a certain number of rounds, and you can determine if you want to play a long or a short game basically by the number of cards. You have forest cards and meadow cards, and these are going to go away each turn. You're going to kind of shuffle up the different seasons, and there's a bunch of other things here, and I'm just going to kind of go through how one turn of the game works. So you'll turn over the top card here, different animals coming to visit the town, and everyone on their own player board is going to roll 2 dice. So here I rolled a 3 and a 4, I place them here. Everybody does that. Then simultaneously, everyone's going to place their workers in various actions you want to do in the different action spaces on the board. You don't stop anyone else from going there. If you put someone in a spot you don't want to go to, you can change your mind and go to another spot. That's not a problem. Once everyone's done with that, then the person who goes first, who has the earthworm Jim looking thing, is going to roll the 4 white dice. These 4 dice are going to be placed on the board. Then each person takes a turn. You take your 2 dice, you put them on the board, and then you're going to take actions based on where you put your people. So when you take an action, you're going to have to assign dice to that. So for example, I put someone here. This says if I assign a 1 or a 2 dice here, I can draw 2 cards, a 3, 4, 5, or 6, I get 1. So maybe I'll put the 2 here to do that, to take some more of those cards in my hand. The person that's here is always going to have all kinds of different things that happen based on a number. I can turn a book into 3 resources of my choice. I can discard a card to get 2 coins, or discard a coin to get a book, but I have to spend different dice. There's also a special ability here that's on each of the characters. Up here, some spots might require multiple dice. If I have a 4, I get 2 mushrooms. I need a 5 and a 6 to get 2 wood and an apple. Over here, I need a straight, a 2, 3, and a 4, 4, 5, and 6 to get 2 books and a coin, and a 1 and a 2 to get that. Then here, this is going to be ticking every turn, and you're going to get different resources based on going there. And if you go to this spot here, you can build one of these cards up to the number that you've played, as long as you have the resources. When you build one of these resources, this is going to give you points at the end of the game, and you're going to put one of your houses on it, revealing more points that you'll score at the end of the game. So players are doing all these different actions, but it's very possible you've gone to a spot, maybe I went here hoping a 5 and a 6 would be rolled, and they weren't. In that case, for each person that you put out that you don't get something from, you take one of these tokens, which will be either a -1 or a +1 that you can use to modify dice in the future. After you're done, you'll take these 4 dice, leave the values the same, put them back here, pass it to the next player. That player puts their 2 dice, resolves their workers, etc. In between rounds, some cards change, things will happen. But after a player's turn, if they can build any of these cards from their hand, they pay the resources, put these down, and these will score you various points. Based on, like this board game gives you 7 points, +1 for each other board game and toys, comfort, these are called comfort, that you have. Bread is worth 4 points, but it's +2 if you also have soup. Pot of tea is worth 4 points, +2 if you have a rocking chair. And there's all kinds of cards that come with the game that just give various points. Sometimes just straight 6 points for the mandolin. Here, lots of them, a piggy bank. You can store coins on this, and it's +2 for each coin that's there at the end of the game. That's it. You're going to play till you run through these cards, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, to be clear, the version I have is the Kickstarter version, so these are all tokens in the original game, while they're nice little wooden pieces in this one. This is actually the one minor problem I have, actually, is that some of the tokens, like the coin, does not look like the coin here, and the other one was the rock. Looks a little different. It's not that hard to figure out. I found it to be a minor thing, but man, Everything fits inside here very nicely. The little meeples are super cute. They're different animals for each one. There's a spot for everything in the box. There's a lid to put on top of the resources. It's a very nice thing. The cards are high quality. I mean, kids' table board games really have great quality anyway. The iconography I thought was pretty easy to understand. There's a lot of cards, so you're always going to have variety here. For the most, and I mean, this is one of my favorite first-person markers ever. I know it's not Earthworm Jim, but it makes me think of him. Anyhow, great components. Much of this game is fairly straightforward, things that you've seen before. Go to spots, get resources, use those resources to build cards. 2 different types of cards, the improvements to your home and the comfort cards, and get points at the end of the game. Very, very straightforward. Where this game differs from others is not using dice to place workers, because that's been done before. What's neat about this game is what I said at the beginning of the video, which is that there's speculation involved. You know what your 2 dice are, so I roll a 2 and a 5. I want to go to that resource spot that needs a 5 and a 6. You're rolling 4 white dice. Surely one of them is going to be a 6, right? And even if not, I got a plus or minus 1 token from a previous turn that I can use to manipulate the die up. So that's really cool. I enjoy that. I enjoy the spaces here on the board, the meadow and the fall spaces, how they change each turn, and there's a very good look to it. Also, you can see the seasons changing, which I like that too. My complaints about the game, and these are mine. I want to be clear. I like the game a lot. My complaints are that I think I would almost always play the short game. The game felt just a little too long for what it is at the long game. And while someone else is taking their turn, I'm a little bit twiddling my thumbs because it doesn't really affect me. There's a few buildings that affect you, like if some of the buildings that you can build, some of these improvements have an extra spot for you to put a worker on, and sometimes only if someone else goes there, you get something. I like that. But other than that, I don't care what someone else does. But what you can do is you can see all the numbers ahead of time, so you can think, when it's my turn, I'll do this, this, and this, and this. But because of that, all that placement, realize there's not a lot of interaction in the game. We're all using the same dice and our own 2 dice. There's a minor interaction, like I said, using other people's buildings, but not a ton. Again, that doesn't bother me a lot, but these are things that you might want to note about this. This also looks very cute and kitty. It's an 8+ on here. My 8-year-old will not be able to handle this game. Ages are different for everybody, even at its simplest, but that's going to vary. But this is definitely, even though it's a cute thing, this is a game adults can sit around and play. This is a very solid, straightforward game. I wouldn't mind seeing this mechanism again, that whole I'm putting workers out, hoping to use them, and if that doesn't work, you get that plus or minus token. But you are sometimes sitting there thinking, okay, I can resolve the workers in any order, so I'm going to resolve this one to get that resource and use this person to change that to this, so that I can then buy this building. Once I have this building, I then can use the rest of my resources to buy this card in my hand, or whatever it might be. That's cool. That's neat. It's just not as fun for me to watch you do it. But despite that, with the short game, very solid. Long game's fine. Just realize you're going to be there for a longer period of time. And this is definitely one of the better games that Kids Table Board Games has put out. Not saying anything. I don't know that I played any of the games I don't like. They're all really solid. Great production values. So check it out. That's Creature Comforts. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.